There's one thing we can all agree on. The Islamic State group propaganda machine is absolutely terrifying, but it's effective. As we speak, their media center is producing slick, multilingual, Hollywood-esque videos and distributing them on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Their recorded beheadings and mass slaughters are too many to ignore. But just like our colleagues at other news organizations, we at AJ Plus face a dilemma. How do we report news about ISIS, especially in the absence of independent journalists on the ground? How should we handle their pornographic violence, their news programs, and their softer, more emotional messages? It's all clearly intended to manipulate the world's perception of them. Should we rebroadcast it on our platforms? Should we ignore it and refuse to engage with it altogether? If this is our generation's information war, how do we win? Where as journalists do we position ourselves on that battlefield? Propaganda in wartime is nothing new. It's used to strike fear in the hearts of enemies and break down their will to fight. It also maintains unity and goodwill among allies banded together for a common goal. The Nazis were experts at it. So are the Russians, the Israelis, the Chinese, and the Americans.
On weapons of mass destruction.
The list goes on. But the tactics of modern propaganda have changed, even in just the last few years. It wasn't too long ago that Osama bin Laden had to find a middleman to deliver his grainy VHS tapes from his cave to a media outlet willing to broadcast his messages. Even then, journalists ultimately decided what was or wasn't shared with the world. But that isn't up to us anymore. Social media has democratized the spread of information. Anyone, anywhere can post a message. The perceived success of ISIS is through these tools, and this strategy is problematic for journalists. Their propaganda has crowded out independent journalists who undermine their narrative, and reporting on this conflict is deadly. The recorded beheadings of James Foley and Steven Sotloff were meant to horrify Western audiences and grab our attention, but they also sent a clear message to other reporters: don't come here or you'll pay with your life. It's also a message many Syrian and Iraqi journalists have been forced to confront as ISIS tries to silence them with threats, kidnapping, and execution. Even more complicated is their approach. They've crafted a central message that isn't just spread through videos of savagery. They try to control their own narrative using a diversity of voices, news programs hosted by hostages to tell their own version of events, to pictures of their daily lives using selfies or cats to balance media reports of their brutality. Many of our colleagues in the industry have participated in a media blackout anytime a brutal video emerges. For some, that means not using ISIS's footage in conveying the news. Others incorporate still images from the videos because they feel that it conveys the broader story with less of the propaganda. When news of James Foley's execution broke, AJ Plus chose to show bits from the video. We reacted in the moment, but we have since reversed that decision.
I think we became aware of the terrible theatricality of what ISIS was doing with their video, and that with each successive offering, we drew back. And I think now we're very comfortable with talking about it, but without being part of this kind of theatrical presentation.
Look, what ISIS does is of significant news value, but we don't want to be their megaphone. It's a tough decision to make and there's no easy answer. So how should we tell this story?